The 2-cent report! Good hello to the people of the world. I'm afraid the time has come. The end of our short hiatus. Hello, Tristan. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. Can't complain. Hiatus, we have had 2 now.
Yeah.
This is all his fault, just by the way, if anybody's wondering.
Always blaming the whites.
I don't know. I mean, like, who else is there to blame?
True. I'll take the blame. That's what I'm there for.
You gotta man up.
So, how have you been? Have you been playing video games?
Oh yes, I have been playing video games. I've been, actually, speaking about that, I actually just started recently playing The Ascent. It's a beautiful game made in Unreal in a I would say more of a future dystopian time. You know, the whole corporations rule the galaxy. People are just a number and slaves. I haven't gotten to jetpacks. No, it's actually a like a top-down dungeon crawler, but it has more similar mechanics to. I don't know if you ever played Alien Swarm.
No, but I do know it.
Yeah. So it has that top-down. Your mouse is where you look, and then WSAD is where you walk. It's beautiful. I can tell you now that it felt like the artists had the most fun making this game because it is just visually it's stunning, and it's with that soft Unreal Engine lighting, and it's great. Although it's a little bit weird because having come off Cyberpunk, I was very much used to the intense red UI system, and the Ascent also goes for that intense red UI system, and it's still getting there. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to add a lot more features in later on down the line, but right now I'm enjoying my playthrough of that.
I'm glad. I've been extremely busy and I haven't played anything. I've been replaying Painkiller because I'm going to be doing a video about it, but I haven't played since the 14th, so yeah.
So that's, it's not too bad. I mean, I hit like a black hole with gaming. I decided I wanted to play something more RPG and that rewarded me for my efforts. And I hadn't known that they're releasing another Skyrim, so boring old me decided, I'm going to get into Mountain Blade Warband. And I've sunk the equivalent of a month into it. I only recently stopped playing so I could play The Ascent, but yeah, that game is dangerous.
Well, so long
I'm scared. I'm scared to go to Bannerlord now.
Well, it's
addictive.
So long as you're enjoying yourself.
I don't know. Most of the time, it's just I'm at that point in this game where I get annoyed by how long everything takes, and like it's one of those games where you don't simply just get an army or restock something. It takes time to restock. It has days where you have to wait for things to renew, and I find myself like I'll start say at 2:00 in the afternoon, and I'll play, and then at 2:00 in the morning, I want to quit, but I'm told myself I've come so far, just a little bit longer, and I'll get to where I want to end off, and it just drags on. I found myself going to bed at 4:00 in the morning playing this game. It's not healthy. It's stupidly addictive for me.
Well, I know the type of game. Any of those kind of RPGs where you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna get into this, and then 3 weeks later you're like, I haven't been sleeping.
Please don't even lie. You've never gotten into an RPG that heavy.
I mean, I played 93 hours of Fallout 4 when it came out in like just shy of 2 weeks, like 13 days. So that's not bad.
Yeah, but Yeah, but you played unmodded Fallout 4. I mean, you haven't even scratched the surface.
I don't play
of how much
modded.
time you can
I don't
sink into
play
the game.
modded.
Mhm.
I'm a good boy.
That's your problem. A lot of games, if it wasn't for the modding community, would be absolutely crap.
Well,
Thank God for Skyrim Anniversary Edition with the new DLC.
I enjoyed them by themselves. I enjoyed Skyrim. I mean, I played it once and I was like, cool, I'm done now. But I enjoyed it.
No. You need to play Skyrim. Then you need to buy all the DLCs, play those. Then you need to buy the Legendary Edition and play those, including all the DLCs that come with it. Then you need to buy the Special Edition and play that, which comes with the DLCs. Then you need to buy the Anniversary Edition. And then you need to buy the other Anniversary Edition with the new DLC. And while you're doing that, each time you play it, you have to mod the shit out of it. You haven't played Skyrim. You're just fucking around on the main quest. That's all you ever do.
No. I didn't play the main quest. I did like everything I could in the game. And then I think when I was like 90 hours in, I was like, I should probably finish the quest. And then I just killed the dragon thing. And I was like, well, that was disappointing. Just like every Elder Scrolls main story. And then I carried on doing shit.
No.
I was sneaky cat lady. Whenever I crouched, people disappeared. It was great. It was very weird. I did like it because, you know, as soon as you crouch, it has like an effect. So the enemies get confused and it's like breaks the game. It's great. I loved it.
Wow. So you only had one character. You didn't get to experience all the mechanics.
I played it. I tried to play it again. I played as an orc. Because I was like, and I played like 2 hours and then I was bored. So, yeah.
Because you didn't mod.
I'm not
Look,
like
most of
Elder Scrolls isn't. I have played the Fallout games over and over again. I love Fallout. Elder Scrolls I find kind of,
No, but the thing is, what you're missing, right, is that. Let me just bring up my Steam. Let me tell you. Okay, this. I only recently got special edition for modding, so I'm not gonna have crazy hours on it or anything. I got both Skyrim and Special Edition, but I mean, I don't have crazy hours, 53 hours, and then I paid 85 minutes of Skyrim. But I'm talking about like the Skyrim that you got in the box that didn't register on Steam. I must have played that Skyrim for 400, 500 hours, way more than what I have logged on For Honor. Like, and I promise you now, if it was 400 hours, 300 was just checking if my mods work and then adding more mods. And then once I'm done modding it, I play it, I get my house, and then I go, yeah, I'm definitely going to come back to this. And then it updates, and all my mods fuck out, and I tell myself, okay, well, one day I'll come back and fix all these mods. Yeah.
You see, that seems like too much of a hassle to me. I'm just like,
No, it's the life.
like fixing shit. God. But anyway, should we maybe get started on the news?
Yes, please.
So the first thing basically is something that's just mostly for me because kind of all the research I do is mostly on Gamasutra because Gamasutra is a great site and often has like industry experts and stuff like that. But they decided to change.
It just needs a facelift. That's all it needs is a facelift.
Well, they decided to change their name because, like, apparently Gamasutra is like cringy, which I like it because whenever I mention the name to anyone, they're like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, yeah, it's a great name. And now they're becoming game developer, which I'm like, that will be so confusing.
Game developer released an article about game development and interviewed several game developers.
None of which were from game developer.
No, not at all.
So yeah,
I mean, like that's like having an interesting name that once you hear it, you don't forget it because it's such an absurd name to just falling in with the crowd.
Game developer is the most forgettable name ever. I mean, it'll still stay the same company, but I had a slight panic attack this morning when I checked my links, and none of these links that I have for Gamasutra were working, because today is the day that they're transitioning to game developer, and I was like, please don't tell me you like can't link to any of the old stuff. And then about 2 hours ago, I checked again and it was working. So I was like, thank God, because I don't want to have to find all this stuff again on other sites.
Ew.
Oh, but yeah.
Ew, it's all grey. It's like logging into the Xbox 360. Oh, game developer.
I know, shame.
No, it's ugly.
Yeah,
it's still ugly. It's still ass ugly. They just changed their name.
Yeah, just the name.
I'm sorry, but
it is.
They really need to have like this is the kind of shit that was acceptable when people still used MySpace, but they really need to update.
To be fair, I mean, I do understand. Like they have a very like old style website, but I kind of like it. I'm just like it looks like something from the 2000s. They just left it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, and then they decide to call them game developer. I mean, game developer's a title. It's not a name for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Game Orgy would have been better.
I don't know who called it Gamasutra at first, but I always loved the name, so it's disappointing. But
yeah, and it was original, and it stuck.
Yeah,
and it was great. It's like it's like when companies try to simplify their logos because people are stupid and they can't identify. And then they oversimplify it to where now not even the intellectuals can know exactly what's going on.
I'm still disappointed with the new logo for like all the Google stuff. Like I was very annoyed when they changed the Google, the Gmail logo and everything. I was like, ugh.
Not that it matters to anybody here because most of them don't even go to a post office or anything. I know I digress here, but I have to say this. Until last year, right now in South Africa, our postal service, our post office, has a logo of an open envelope, right? Normal open envelope. It's obvious. Not to me until last year. I always I don't pick up on fancy design like stuff like that. I always, if I don't understand it, I always just make the own image, and it's one of those things where my own image stuck, and I always saw it as that instead of what it's meant to be. Like the Stedler brand, the
pencils,
the dude with the helmet. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a guy with the helmet. I just thought it was a whole lot of squiggles. The same with Standard Bank.
I was about to say Standard Bank.
I didn't know it was a shield with a flag. I just thought it was a block, like a shield, but with lines. I didn't register the flag. Now, I registered our postal service as a diamond. And I always wondered, why the fuck is it a diamond? And then only it's like, oh no, it's an envelope that's open with a perspective view. And I'm like, oh, holy shit.
Well, do you know, what's the name of that? It's like the most famous like logistics service, FedEx.
Yes.
Do you know that FedEx has an arrow in the logo?
I mean, God, what next? We're going to talk about Lord of the Rings and Viggo Mortensen's toe. Obviously, it has a... Thing is, I knew that only because at my previous work, we had a big FedEx project that FedEx gave to us. Had to do with their shipping safeties, like safety when you load a plane and when you offload and when you load packages.
Okay.
And we took care of that, and that's how I know that FedEx has an arrow in the logo. But yeah, I mean, like if it's there's a lot of different logo designs and stuff. So that's why when I'm looking at game developer, I'm like, did the person first make the logo and be like, oh, this is cool? I mean, like, I bet you they didn't even notice Pac-Man in their logo.
I think that because it's supposed to be there's a print magazine called Game Developer, and Gamasutra is like a sister site to it. So now they just turned it into Game Developer, which is boring, but you know, whatever. 'Tis the way it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, shame on them.
But anyway, the next thing doesn't really need any discussion. It's just that GTA 5 still keeps on selling copies, and at some point it needs to stop because it's now at 150 million copies sold. So you're like, 100, okay. They're like never going to make a GTA 6. They'll just keep on making GTA Online.
No. Apparently, there is buzz about it.
There is buzz about it, but
Um,
I'm like, what are they gonna be like? Elder Scrolls 7 and just take, was it Elder Scrolls 6? Shit, what is Skyrim? Elder Scrolls 5? You'll know.
No, I don't pay attention to that. But I think it is 5.
Yeah, I think it is 5.
So Elder Scrolls thing is, Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't need to come, because as long as Bethesda can prove to Microsoft that they can still make the money, they don't need to rush it. Like, I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, it's never going to come out. Half-Life 3. No. When it does come out, if it does a Cyberpunk where it folds so badly to the pressure of having to be released that it bombs, and then most people will look at that and go, oh, I'll never play that, and they'll never actually get to experience what a masterpiece the game actually is. So Elder Scrolls 6, please take your time. I'm not going to worry about it. If you give us another Skyrim, it's fine. I've already got Skyrim on my computer. I will look at it and be like, okay, well, good for you. Well done. That's I mean, people are still playing what's it, that dwarven game, the one that looks absolutely like ass.
Dwarf Fortress.
Yes, people are still playing that. I mean, I actually went on to Freelancer. Now, I don't know how many people know about Freelancer, and I'm pretty sure even that percentage is a small percentage inside that remember Freelancer.
You know what, with Freelancer, everyone who backed Star Citizen knows Freelancer. No, seriously, it spawned the whole space. It's unfortunately spawned Eve. It like Elite Dangerous is great, but it wouldn't be anywhere without Freelancer. Everybody needs to praise Microsoft, because I played that game recently, and I was still in awe on how alive the universe felt. Yeah, it's small, the graphics are bad, but the mechanics hold up, and the world still feels alive. It's like when you go in there, there's chatter, there's people doing stuff, even though they're all scripted. What Microsoft did there was way before its time, and we're still trying to emulate it in today's age, but we're just trying to throw on it's going to be better. But yeah, there's still people who play Freelancer. There's still people who play Red Alert. And I'm not talking about the remastered. I'm talking about Red Alert. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of, or just the Command & Conquer remastered. The people still play Command & Conquer. And I think, generally, if a game lasts that long, yeah, the only difference is that nowadays they have the ability to sell these games. But back then, you printed copies, you sold your copies, and that was that. Any other existing copies of that game was pirated. That's the only way back then games like that could make it out. And now with the internet, most people have forgotten about those major games. But you can still find them online. You can still buy them if you want to, and you can still play them, but they're just not selling because that was then. The generation now, also throwing in a little bit of that COVID magic. Sorry, YouTube. You get people that are bored. They want to escape, and GTA, unfortunately, for all the controversies, is a really great game to escape to, so long as you're not playing multiplayer. Well, that's where everyone is playing.
No. Very few people actually play multiplayer. Most of them just exist to be cannon fodder for other multiplayer people.
I suppose, but online is their big money ticket.
Well, there's that. You can also buy GTA and then get the Total Conversion RP mod, which adds in a whole lot of more roles. And personally, I haven't tried it, but friends of mine have, and they told me about their experiences. And a lot of people are getting GTA to get the RP mod. RP, obviously, role player mod. A lot of people are getting it, and Rockstar is not really doing anything to stop people from using the actual game, modding it out, and hopping onto private servers. So you'll find that vanilla GTA is still big, yes, but it's not as big as what the modding community have made it into. And even when it was first released, the modding community took over, and you saw all kinds of crazy things come out of there. So I think it's like Skyrim, but for people that don't want to play Skyrim. They play GTA 5.
Well, so long as they're enjoying themselves. Once again, with GTA 5, got it when it came out, finished the campaign, never played it again.
I played some online. I mean, my friends were like, "Yay, let's play this game." I bought it. I got it for a discount. CD keys for the win. And I got it at a discount. I bought it. We played it. My friend bought the deluxe edition or whatever, and he got the starter, and he got the base, he got the extra money. We were playing online, and he was just, he's got all the money. And we were cool. And then, we stopped playing. And then Epic was like, "Hey guys, we're going to give you everything for free." And then we played a little bit more of it. We got into it. It was fun. But the key of it is you want to do heists. But it was very difficult to get 4 people on, because I would always play and then have 2 additional people with me. We would never have a 4th person, and which means that we could never do a heist. And I know people go, "Oh yeah, but there's an auto finder, they'll put someone in the match." Being put with somebody that, first of all, you can't communicate with because they're not on a Discord or any kind of chat, and when a lot of them, when they rock up, they want to do their thing, and they don't want to do it the way it's supposed to be. And then when they don't get their way, they leave. And what happens when they leave the heist? Doesn't matter if they left at the beginning or right as you're about to finish the heist, they leave, and the heist gets cancelled, and you get thrown back into multiplayer. So it's, yeah. I never got to experience the heists. Except for the first one where you can heist with 2 people.
You see, I like single player because none of this shit happens.
Yeah, but it's also very lonely.
I don't get lonely. You get lonely watching movies?
Yes.
Man, you're a sad person, Tristan.
Thank you. Thank you for realizing this. In order for me to watch movies, I need to do something else. So I need to act like I'm not interested in the movie while doing something else, but I can't do anything too important, otherwise I'll lose track of the movie.
Like cooking.
Oh no, cooking I get distracted, man. I listen to music now when I cook. I tried doing the whole movie thing, but I look up, half the movie's gone, I'm like, right. I will only cook and watch movies I've already seen, but I won't watch a new movie and cook.
Well, shame. Well,
shall we move on?
Yeah, well, the next thing is very much single player. There's a new company that's coming out called Ivy Road, and they're made up like some quite big name peeps. Davey Reedon, the guy who made Stanley Parable, and also the co-creator of the studio behind Tacoma and Gone Home, which I love. And then also apparently a Minecraft composer who I've never heard of, but whatever. But yeah, there's
a Minecraft composer. You mean the dung dung?
I guess so. I don't know. Dung, dung. I was more interested in Davey Reedon and the Gone Home creator.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
forgot his name there.
I don't know if you, because obviously you know the Stanley Parable, but I don't know if you've ever played actually Tacoma or Gone Home.
Nope.
They are lovely. That's all I'll say. They're very single player. They're like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. They're those kind of narrative experience games, not they're walking simulators like Stanley Parable, and they're great, and I love them. So yes, that's just my little, I'm excited mostly because Davey Reedon, because the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide. I don't know if you played the Beginner's Guide.
I didn't play that. I played the one that you also recommended, the one with the tiger, Dr.
Langskov. Yeah, the tiger and the terribly cursed emerald. Yeah, yes. That wasn't actually Davey Reedon, but that was the guy who worked with Davey Reedon on the full release of Stanley Parable, whose name I now forget, but he's a really cool guy. He's funny.
I remember playing this. Like, I remember Stanley Parable the first time. Just, someone coming over going, "You have to play this," and then I played it, and I was like, "Well, that was pretty good.
It's pretty great."
I was predictable. I did everything wrong, apparently.
Yeah, when I had Nina try it, she just followed all the instructions. And I was like, "You don't have to." And she was like, "What? I don't have to?" I'm like, "God."
What's the point of this game? No, it was great, and it spurred on a whole new genre, I think.
Yeah, and I love those kind of games just because I love narrative. So if I'm just going to get like an hour and a half, 2 hour game that's just a story, I'm like, cool. I don't need every game to be, super gameplay engaging. There's lots of games for that. If I want to play that, I'll play a shooter. Just because narrative games exist doesn't mean that other games don't exist. So, but if I was only playing one genre of game, I'd probably want to kill myself. My God, it'd be so horrible. Why would you ever do that? Imagine.
Hey.
I know people like that.
If you carry on like that, we will never get FIFA players to join this podcast.
No, but they're also playing Fortnite and Call of Duty, Tristan.
Oh, good.
So, the next thing, which is lovely, Amazon, great company, they apparently had a bunch of rules where in the game development side, you were not allowed to have personal projects. Like an indie game you're making on the side. I don't know how they would monitor that, but it's Amazon. They probably have cameras in your home. But yeah.
Well, that's not unusual. The company I worked with, you weren't allowed to moonlight, and they classified having your own personal project as moonlighting because, in their words, you could be stealing techniques learned from working with the company and using it in your own product, and therefore you benefit off the company's loss. That was the justification for it.
My response would be bullshit. Are you gonna be like, "Oh no, I worked at McDonald's for 2 years," and then they won't let you go and work at Burger King because they're like, "Well, you might use techniques that you learned at McDonald's when you go to Burger King."
Which is quite funny because the point of experience,
yes, it's literally specialization.
Is to use techniques learned. I love that. It's like, no, we don't want you to steal our techniques, and you're like, but I have experience.
Yeah. And literally the college...
that is exactly the same thing.
Is going to college stealing the techniques of people from before.
No, because you're paying them.
Okay.
The thing is,
I see.
The company doesn't want you sharing their secrets. They don't want you to know that Windowline is a viable means of antiseptic. Okay? They don't want you to know these things, okay? It's perfectly acceptable not to pay overtime if you buy everybody pizza when they work late. It's fine. There are loopholes that we as mortals cannot know about. Otherwise, the system will crash.
Exactly. But yes.
Everybody will exploit it.
But yes, this is obviously because experience doesn't exist. So at least Amazon has loosened that. Now you're allowed to do your own shit. Maybe it's because the Amazon Game Studios is like a fuck up. So they're like, well, you might as well get something good out of your time here, guys.
Well, it was quite bad actually, because a lot of companies still do this. They will allow personal projects. But then, if you happen to release the personal project during your time with the company, it becomes the company's IP. Or, better yet, if you had to release the personal project within a certain time after leaving the company, it becomes the company's IP. I mean, I've read contracts like that. Like, if I had to say I was developing a game, I went to work for this company, use nothing from my work with that company, and then after I leave that company, I release my game. That company still has full right to say, hey, that's our IP.
You see, I'm like, there are so many things that happen in the games industry that are just complete bullshit, and I think a lot of people who get into the games industry young don't realize that things are bullshit, because like imagine if you worked at an office and then you wrote a novel and you published a novel and then the office was like, by the way, we own your novel. You'd be like,
Yep.
what the fuck? And you're like, well, you use a keyboard at work. What did you write your novel on?
A keyboard at home? Exactly! You use your techniques learned on the keyboard from us to write your novel. No, it's stupid. It's stupid. But Amazon, nothing's going to save you until you save yourself. From realizing that going into the industry looking for money is a bad idea, which actually is the same sentence I will use for our post-main topic.
Well, speaking of like industry bullshit kind of things, the very next thing is about 38 Studios. I don't know if you know 38 Studios.
I can name them off the top of my head. There's Square Enix, there's Rockstar, is Ironforge still around? I don't know.
Well, I'm talking about the company called 38 Studios. You silly nana.
Well, that's a stupid name.
It is a stupid name, but they made Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh wait, yes, you're right. Oh my god, I even thought back then that 38 Studios was a stupid name.
But they crumbled years ago because Kings of Amalur didn't work.
Oh, you're kidding me? That game was amazing.
Yeah, it didn't.
Damn, Skyrim overshadowing everything.
Yeah, no, it crumbled. And now, apparently a decade later, they finally paid the final paychecks to the people 10 years later. So.
Nah.
Yeah.
You know what I would do in that situation? Obviously, I would get sued and probably end up in jail. But I would literally just I'll take the game and start selling copies of it like under the table to recoup my losses. And if people go, oh yeah, you were pirating our game, I'm like, bitch, everybody pirates your games. I'm just trying to make a little money out of it.
But yeah, so that's just because I haven't seen Kingdoms of Amalur like come up in years. So I saw it and I was like, huh. They kind of sound like another Crytek.
And then it's a controversy.
Crytek also does that. Crytek is like, that people are like, we haven't been paid in like 6 months, and Crytek is like, we didn't have money. And you're like, tell them to fucking leave.
But that's my next thing. Yeah, why all these? Like, I get it. I was also very loyal to my company, but I promise you this: they tried to encourage me to take a pay cut, and I said no. And if they had to mess with my pay in any way, I would leave. Because why am I working for you? Like, why am I working for you when you can't even pay me, yet you look pretty good when well off?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's yeah.
Guys, stop working for people that aren't going to pay you and just promise you. You're not loyal. It's not tarnishing your word. It's looking after yourself, right? I mean, are you going to continue going to the hospital after you're cured? No.
Well, if you're a hypochondriac.
I don't know what that has to do with it. I'm sure, but then you've got a condition. But if you don't have seriously, you have a right to be paid. Stop working for pennies. Stop working on the promise of money.
Yeah, no.
I know times are tough. If you want, rather just break off, take the time that you're not getting paid for, and work on your portfolio and get a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
You literally are working for something without any benefits when you could be working, still not getting paid, and bettering yourself for the next job. Stop being stupid.
Yeah, no, it's... I've always said don't have loyalty. They're an employer. I think work hard. I believe in working hard, but ultimately you do have to care about yourself, not other people.
There's no loyalty when there's a contract involved.
Yeah, no, you're fulfilling your contractual obligation.
Exactly.
And
so
they're supposed to be fulfilling theirs.
I don't see why you need to. Yeah, and just by the way, if they're hypothetically saying that if you leave you'll be done, they'll make a bad name for you. They're not paying you when they're getting you to work. They already have a bad name. you know? Just call them the kettle and move on.
So, I believe it's time for, once again, Acquisitions Cast.
Do-do-do-do.
Exactly. So, We got a couple here. Focus Home Interactive, which is quite like a big publisher. They acquired Dotemu, who I've never heard of, but I know some of the games that they've made. They worked on Metal Slug Tactics, Streets of Rage, the new one that just came out. Basically, they do like all of those things. Like they also remastered like Another World and stuff like that. But they bought them up for 45.5 million, which isn't that much money when you look at some of these other acquisitions. But yeah.
I mean, they made Metal Slug's Tactic. I mean.
But yes, so they make a lot of retro stuff. And then Embracer's a very big thing. They bought quite a few things. They bought 8 companies, which fun. Including one you will remember the name of, 3D Realms. If you do remember.
I do know the name 3D Realms. I just forgot what they contributed.
Well, in recent years they made Ion Fury, but more famously back in the day they made Duke Nukem 3D.
Okay. No wonder I forgot about.
Yeah, they're still around. They made Ion Fury in the same engine.
Okay, that's kind of
cool.
Yeah,
it came out like 2 years ago or something. I haven't played it, but it looks pretty cool. But yeah, they bought up just a whole bunch of things. So it's like the...
Is Embracer just a straight up corporate?
Yes, no, they're straight up corporate.
So this is just more just corporate trying to get in on the cash by buying,
they also bought up... I don't know if you know this game. It's called 1111 Memories Retold. But they bought up that studio. It's like a small studio. They bought up a whole bunch of small studios, but still, it's quite a lot to embrace overall. Or to embrace, to take over.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, so they're trying to...
I feel sorry for these guys. I mean, like, hopefully, corporate life is not too hard for these studios, but we all know when a corporate gets their hands on a studio, 2 things happen. The studio basically becomes a sweatshop, and then later on, the studio is abolished.
Yeah.
So...
Well, another one then, a great company, Zynga. Zynga bought up StarLark, which is just a developer that made a golf game, but they bought it for $500 million, so it's quite a bit of cash for it. But yeah,
golf game.
Zynga's mobile, so and mobile games make a lot of money. The mainstream people don't really care about them. I mean, not mainstream, the hardcore gamers don't really care about mobile, but it's the same as when people are like, who cares about FIFA? EA cares about FIFA because it makes more money than, like, any of the games you care about. So, yeah. Very fun. But anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, now...
FIFA.
the next thing... I don't know how much you know about Roblox.
Recently, I've been quite well educated by my niece about it. so it's not that I want to know about it. It's just that it never stops getting into the conversation.
Yeah. So like the thing is, I just kind of knew a little bit about Roblox. I knew it was like a place where like people make games, but it's like a weird it's like a simplified engine for making games.
It's ugly. It's like have you ever played Unturned?
No, but that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a zombie survival, but like Minecraft style.
Yeah,
but not like Minecraft. It's like, what if we took the shitty graphics idea for Minecraft and made it shitty?
Yeah, but Roblox is that kind of thing where you know, so kids making things. It's supposed to be like for kids, but a YouTube video came out that went into, like, I didn't really know much about it, except that it's mostly for kids. It recently got, like, it went public, and it turns out Roblox is worth the equivalent of, like, it was like 4 or 5 Ubisofts. It's big. It makes a lot of money, but they claim they don't make, like, any money. Mostly because all of their money they push back into Roblox, so they can claim... that they don't make like a lot of money.
And also taxes.
Yeah, they're very clever. But the whole thing with Roblox is that basically it's this let me see if I can remember all of it, because it's like a whole bullshit thing. you have to put real currency in, obviously, to get, Robux or whatever they call them. I don't know. And then with that, you can...
It's called them V-Bucks.
Yeah, V-Bucks. With that, you can buy, the in-game experiences. They call them experiences because if they called them games, then Apple might get a bit irritated that there's a whole game store on its app store. So they're like, no, they're experiences. They're not games. But basically, they incentivize kids to try to make games. But you can pay to essentially advertise your game on Roblox. And so they're basically incentivizing kids to spend money to try to make money. And they also have this whole thing where it's like, if you manage to make 1,000 or there's like 10,000, Robux, V-Bucks, whatever they're actually called, that's the equivalent of like $100. That's the minimum withdrawal amount. So you need to make quite a bit of money before you can withdraw any. But you probably won't get to that point because they're incentivizing you to advertise, because only the ones that show up on like the front page actually really make money. So it's basically just a whole...
But that's basically, I mean, essentially what I'm looking at here is that they're under the guise that this is a game for kids, but it's 100% a marketplace.
Yes.
Where kids are not even supposed to be near with money.
Yeah.
And they're like, why don't we, instead of trying to convince people to allow kids onto the marketplace, why don't we just make a marketplace for kids?
Yeah,
that's
basically what it is. It's
that's disgusting.
Yeah, so it's pretty.
That is so disgusting. I need to get my niece out of that.
Yeah, and my well, you should watch the video. It's like 20 minutes long. It's yeah. They even interview an aspiring developer, and literally this kid is like 11 years old, and he sounds like a jaded, like 20-year vet of the games industry. He's just like, yeah, it like doesn't work. The system doesn't work for like with you. Everything is against you. You're incentivized to like pay cash to, and you're just like, Jesus, you've like broken this child. It's not great.
It's how do I say it? It's actually just it's that kind of thing where the people advertise for children. The parents look at it, see its style, and see the kids having fun and go, okay, that's fine. But at the same time, these guys are literally marketing at your child.
Yeah.
Their target market isn't creativity, but to get your child to work for them for free under the guise of having fun so that they can earn money off your child.
And also...
Just let that sink in.
And actually, another thing... in the video, they pointed this out when they were like, Steam like gets a lot of pushback because I think they take like 30%, right? That's their cut. Roblox takes like 75%. So they're even taking more than any of the other ones, and like no one has noticed them because
that's straight up child labor. Because they've been under the guise of, it's just a silly kids thing. When an adult looks at those graphics and the stuff that gets produced, they go, oh, okay, not my thing, stay away from it. And then they allow kids, oh no, it's a kid's game.
Yeah.
And it's just so destructive.
Yeah, and it's like brilliant on their part because they have all the things like, oh no, it's not games, it's experiences. And also they're learning, like these kids are learning like a game engine. But apparently the Roblox like engine is very, very idiosyncratic. Like it doesn't really apply to any other engine. So you're not really learning anything that's applicable to anywhere else.
Yeah, you might as well just get them Gmod or something. Or how Unity is free. It comes with pre-built game tutorials. And just by the way, their tutorials are really easy. I'm also delving into Unreal's tutorials, and I'm thinking to myself, like, it's only technical that's going to get you, all the technical terms, but to start game design is not that difficult, but it's terrible. I mean, to have a company that's training your child to work for them without, it's like the question of how do we get developers to make games for us without actually having developers or having to pay them.
Yeah, it's
I know
it's very clever, and also it is the whole, it's the guise of, it's for kids and it's fun and it's educational. And then, they can just use it to exploit. And it turns out this company's actually making fucking bank. because like apparently I think that they listed it's like the 5th biggest game company or something. It just went public, and that's how big it is. That's how much money it makes. So
no, that's disgusting.
It's
like, I don't mind you profiting off unfortunate adults, but because the thing is, the child is going to grow up to think that's the norm, and that's going to raise an even weaker workforce where they won't fight for themselves, they won't fight for anything, they will just accept. And like you said, that child is jaded. I mean, the things he's spouting is what the 30-year-olds on YouTube are spouting now.
Yeah.
It's what the people that became big when we started watching YouTube, or just before we started watching YouTube, are all saying now. And this is a child.
And actually, what's even like worse, because it's supposed to be for kids, right? But all of the top experiences, like the top devs, are all actual studios, like with adults. Like they're the only ones who can actually work the system.
I'm not surprised, because the system is not designed for kids. Because it's not designed. That's why we have studios. Because basically, what they did is they created the game industry within a game, and then they're acting like the top the top 5 people that control everything on this world, on this planet. They've now created the game industry, and they just profiteering of anything that happens in it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get people that will go like me, that's fucking disgusting, and you're gonna get studios that go, that's fucking great, I want to do it, I want to do the same thing. And
yep.
It loses. I would recommend going to Minecraft than going to Roblox now. I'll recommend I'll recommend kids play fucking Postal 2 before telling them to go to Roblox.
Yeah, no, it's
at least then it doesn't take your money.
It's bad. But yeah, I knew, it's one of those things where I was like, yeah, I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't really know anything about it, because it's like for kids. It's like that Penguin Club, I think it was called, which was like a big kids game.
Oh yes,
which I was like,
yes,
I was like, I've heard of it. That's the full extent of my knowledge. But it would be like one of those things if like suddenly, a news report came out and saying like Lego, an aggressive attempt on your child's life, and you'd be like, what the fuck has Lego been doing? So yeah, not the best.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But the thing is, Lego has, because it's a physical product, it's always been in the parents', like, if the parents aren't standing on it, it's somewhere around the house. Yeah. Whereas Roblox is, you put your child in front of their iPad, or you put your child in front of a computer or laptop, they do the thing, you don't bother them, you don't actually know what's happening. Like, my niece plays on my father's or her grandfather's laptop, and he doesn't know what's going on. He just, she's having fun, because he knows that if they're playing a game, leave them alone, because he's the same person that is still to this day playing Skyrim. Yeah, like, she's now there, she's playing Roblox. We don't know. Obviously, my dad is a person to be conscious about money, so he's not just going to be pouring money into it. Neither is her mother going to be pouring money into it, so she's not a creator, she just plays Roblox. But they're funding this corrupted community that's literally child labor, and then it's crazy. It's like when they have those competitions, those best draw competitions, or for me the game dev weekends.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is for people to get together and work. I mean, there are literal studios dedicated to doing this. When you see those amazing like art week stuff, when they have an art challenge and you get these amazing results. I mean, like the one that blew up on the internet recently was they released an animation of a guy pulling something, and then the people were allowed to take that and make something of it. so long as they kept in that animation of the person pulling it. And it was huge. There were so many different variations from so many people, and the majority were studios. And it's like, of course the studio is going to make something that looks great, because you got a bunch of people behind something compared to one person doing something. And obviously the quality of the studios will always outshine the one person team, because
obviously
that's just
but continuing with wonderful things that are happening in the industry, Ubisoft, beautiful company. So like last year they got in some trouble for a bunch of the bad stuffs, the rapey executives, and basically it's a family business, and they protect their friends. And
okay, so what you're trying to say is that Ubisoft is basically acting like most of their game protagonists.
Yes, they're iconic, just like the one with the hat from Watch Dogs.
Except for Raymond.
Basically.
But he is kind of rapey, though. I mean, look at his face.
True.
He's got that.
Very true.
That rapiness.
But basically, the staff were like, they came out being like, well, they haven't actually done anything. They're still protecting offenders. Basically, just all the great stuff, and they also was like a big open letter being like, you haven't fixed anything, and the company just kind of ignored it because that's what they do. It's easier to just ignore it and wait for people.
Did they make sure to write the letter in French?
I'm assuming,
because that's their first problem, right?
Well, I'm assuming most of their workers are probably French.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
But yeah, that's just kind of a continuation of what's been happening already. But sort of following on from that is Fullbright. And Fullbright is actually the company that made those games I spoke about earlier that I like so much, Tacoma and Gone Home. And the other co-creator, Steve Gaynor.
Wait. You just went from Ubisoft not doing anything.
Yes.
Right? Not doing anything about the allegations, but what's happening with the other company that's not doing anything about the inappropriate.
Well, that's immediately after this, because this is all of these are connected to each other. So
God,
yeah, exactly. It's
the rabbit hole.
They're not connected, like they're not friends, but it's thematically linked. So
okay.
So in Fullbright, so it's like an indie studio. They're not like a big, they're not like an Activision, who we'll speak about later. But it turns out that the co-founder is not a great guy. Sexual harassment, the usual things, and he has also did the whole toxic culture in the company, bad management, all that kind of stuff. So he has, pulled back a bit, and he's not going to be as in charge. He'll probably just wait, until.
Okay. Slap on the wrist. You good?
Exactly, basically. And then, so you see, the allegations of Ubisoft, the allegations of Fullbright, and then Activision-Blizzard.
Let's just stop that right there. I vote we call them AB. Let's just call them AB. Yeah.
Not a great company. Yeah. Basically, I'll just do these as a quick string because they all go together.
Oh my word, there's a lot of them. Okay.
So basically...
Okay, I see.
All right. The Warcraft boss got fired for misconduct. A whole bunch of stories came out because there was a walkout, and more people started being like, yeah, I was also sexually harassed because these people are cunts.
WoW or Reforged?
It just says Warcraft. I think he's the World of Warcraft, I think. Let me double check though.
Because he's been screwing over people long before they picked this up.
Let me just double check. I think it is World of Warcraft. I read it the other day.
Oh no, what will they do without the next expansion? Surely they won't have content that they're already remastered. Oh wait, they're just going to release the classic Wrath of the Lich King classic. Exactly. Okay, I get what they did. I get what they're doing. It's like, how do we repackage nostalgia, but in a way that people don't think we'll be repackaging nostalgia?
And then continuing on from that is the he resigned or was fired, and then there were some resignations, such as the president of Blizzard, who was that guy, if you remember the whole what was his name? Oh, it's been such a long time. When Blitzchung, the what the fuck is that game called? Their card game, Hearthstone. When he decided to support the Hong Kong protest against China, and then Blizzard immediately banned him. The president, Alan J. Brack, was the guy, or J. Alan Brack. I've been saying Alan J. Brack forever. Anyway, he...
Just call him AJ.
AJ, yeah. J.A. He left, and then basically the head of the head of HR also resigned. So cool. And
people are scattering away like when you lift up a box and there's cockroaches underneath.
And then of course, who's the big CEO? Bobby Kotick. He's the guy who's in charge of Activision.
He's the Scarface guy. He's the guy that whenever I picture walking into the office, it's like walking into Scarface's mansion. Big pile of cocaine and weapons.
Well, something that he doesn't like, apparently, is because people keep on photoshopping horns onto his head.
Oh, yes!
And he doesn't like it because apparently it hurts his dating life. So.
Yes. It's fine. He's got money. Everybody knows, especially our father Gabe Newell, knows that you don't need looks to do anything with your dating life.
It's not.
You just need that
It's
cash.
not great. So he had obviously your usual kind of executive response, just being a dick, and the people who organized the walkout and stuff were like, fuck you. And then of course things continued. Now they're facing class action lawsuit from investors. That's when you know things are bad, when your own investors want to sue you. Because Blizzard was like, well, by the way, this whole lawsuit that's coming at us, it might affect our financials. And so investors were like,
hey,
no.
I don't believe that big companies, I know small companies need investors to get the money to publish to do their games, get it published, get the advertising. But I think when you're like Blizzard age or Activision or Ubisoft or EA, when you're that age, that long in the game, all investors do is cause cuck with the fan base. That's it. That's all they do. They just fuck off the fan base. Because you're making a lot of money, you're giving it to these assholes, they demand that the next time they give you money to make a new... That's why I also like indie devs, because the ones that don't have investors end up spending all their money on cocaine and hookers. And that's acceptable, you know?
Yeah, you see, but that...
Because it's their money, they can do what they want.
Yeah, you see, but the thing is, if you want to hire sex workers, that's fine, but maybe don't sexually harass your own employees. It's sort of a, the one is, that's their job, and the other one is, no, I'm a coder. Fuck off. So...
I mean, it stems from it's bleeding out all over the place with old people in higher positions that are obviously abusing their position for some gain.
Yeah.
And it's just it's not like it hasn't been going on forever. It's just that the more diverse the workforce becomes in the game industry, because it was male dominated, and the more diverse it comes, the old habits haven't changed at all.
Yeah.
It went from picking on the weaker guys to sexually harassing their employees.
Yeah.
It's still a display of dominance and power, and also really small pee-pee syndrome.
Yes, exactly. but basically it continued. Even the director of Diablo 4, he also kind of got kicked out, and the Overwatch League is probably going to lose sponsors, and of course, lastly, which group always ends up coming forward and being like, by the way, we're also treated like absolute shit? The QA department, because of course. And that is so far Unless I've missed things, because you fucking never know. There's so much shit about AB. But yeah, that seems to be it at present.
Wait, Diablo among the employees. Okay, QA. Yeah, man, like, you know, there's actually a lot of people that never get mentioned. People know game development. You need the artists, you need the coders, you need the managers, you got the executive staff, you got the marketing staff. And nobody cares about the R&D department. Nobody cares about the Q&A department.
Yeah.
Without those two, you cannot make and release a game.
Yeah.
But they get treated like shit.
Yeah. Well, Activision-Blizzard, AB, I don't think that they're the best company on earth. I have a feeling,
I've got this gut feeling that they...
And I had this feeling that they weren't the best company in the world before these allegations. It's almost as if I'm like prescient. I can tell the fucking future.
Wait. What was Activision's name before they became Activision? I don't know if you remember.
No, they were always called Activision, weren't they? They were just Activision. And then I think they bought up.
No, man. They did have... Okay, maybe I'm thinking of another company.
Well, I'll check.
I've got this feeling like they had another name before they became Activision. But that's fine. It's in the past. Now we all know who to hate.
Well, when I look here...
Nah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Basically, our top 3 stories are all just bad things happening in the game industry, and nobody's being held accountable.
To be fair, is that new?
Should be held accountable. I mean, not really, but the new thing is, people aren't being held accountable. It's just a slap on the wrist or somebody leaves.
Yeah.
But the actual issue isn't addressed. They're just treating the symptoms.
Yeah. Well, also what they do is that they're like, yeah, we let him go. He's no longer at the company. He is keeping his stock options though, which means that he will still make money off the company whenever we release a game. But he isn't here anymore.
Gave him a beautiful severance package.
Yes.
Made up of all the people we had to let go last
Exactly.
year. But yeah.
Because those 800 people didn't have homes.
And what gets me, like I said, I think I said this in the last podcast, the last episode, that I keep on seeing Blizzard on LinkedIn, and it's all these things about fresh employees, new things. They've got a brilliant inclusivity plan. They've got amazing opportunities for females, and I'm thinking, okay, is it amazing because you get to have more women in the workplace, empowering them? Or is it amazing because you get to exploit more people that's coming in, giving your top A like the amount of ass kissing? I won't say ass kissing. The amount of highlighting one's sphincter that they do when it comes to empowering women in the workplace. Now, I'm not saying that those that have been empowered in the right way in the workplace aren't justified. They thankfully got what they deserved. I'm talking about the ones that come in, have this bright future displayed in front of them, get to work for a company that is fucking difficult to get into, and then get treated like shit because they happen to not possess a few things in between their legs. It's yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not the greatest.
Blizzard Activision, I don't know. Hey, you guys once upon a time made good games. You too, Ubisoft. I'm still surprised that I still play Conquest Frontier Wars, Ubisoft. You must reboot that. I play a lot of old games, guys, especially sci-fi games. So yeah, I'm very disappointed.
By the way, entirely unrelated to all things gaming. About 3 times while recording so far, my dog has farted, and it's very smelly. Just so everyone knows that. It's very stinky here.
Shame. I mean, I play games with my cat on my lap, and she is just full on dosing me with mustard gas every time. I'll be playing a game, talking, and all of a sudden it wafts up because she's on my lap. You've got your dog off to the side. True. I've got this fucking cat on my lap, and she gasses me every time. So I don't feel sorry for you, but at the same time, I know how you feel.
Yeah. I'm just chilling and then, oh, really?
Nothing worse than when you walk out of the room and you're like, so that's what fresh air tastes like. I thought everything had a sulfuric taste to it. My God.
But yeah, those are the main stories. I believe, Tristanimus, you had a thing.
Yes, I did. This is also a special thanks. Last episode we gave a shout out to one of our avid viewers, our only person that actually says that they're viewing. Like I said before, if you want us to give you a shout out, whether it's your gamer tag or whether it's something you want us to say, literally you can ask us to say something and we'll say it and then highlight your name in it. But after the shout out, I received a suggestion from our one and only fan, Cyborg Bat, and he told me to look into a game called Illuvium, which I had no idea existed.
Yeah, I had no idea where you got this thing from, because I was like, I've never fucking heard of this. I was wondering where this came from.
I will start on a little bit of a tangent. Let's go down memory lane. So when I was working for a particular company in a particular building, before I worked for this, I went to that. I joined this company and I worked with them, and I got a job offer from another company. At the time, I was young, I was dumb, and most importantly, I didn't know whether I should go for a contract or I should go for, like a temporary contract, or if I should go for a permanent position. At that point in my life, I literally just left college, got my diploma, didn't know a thing about game design, but applied to any game design job I got. I eventually got a game design job, not game design, but creating art for games. And then after that, like a week after that, I get another guy I didn't apply to so much as he reached out to me because he saw my portfolio on LinkedIn, and he reached out to me and he offered me a job position as a junior artist. And I just accepted the junior artist position. And back then, I still thought, like, my dad was, if you work hard and you do this, the money will come. And I thought to myself, okay, well, this guy gave me a job. I literally just signed the contract a week ago. I don't want to now jump over. I didn't even give the guy an opportunity to do an interview because I felt at that point my life was going as I wanted it. So I leave this job. I sent the guy back email, said, unfortunately, I literally just signed the contract. Thank you very much for the offer. I appreciate it. Not to think that, yeah, it's a temporary contract, but I'll be earning more money. But my fear there was, it's a temporary contract when I just got offered a permanent. And back then, a permanent was like, yes, I've made it. I came straight out of education, straight into a permanent job without any tomfuckery. That would happen later. But what I mean is that this guy wanted me to be a junior artist, which I was, a junior artist for a game idea he had, which he got funding for on Shark Tank. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Shark Tank is basically it's a show where people present their prototypes and their ideas to investors, and these are very much big shots. It's very similar to the Donald Trump show, which was The Apprentice, yes. I believe. Very similar to that. They're given a certain time limit to come up with a pitch, come to the investors, pitch the idea, and if an investor likes it, they'll go, okay, cool, I want to invest in your product. So this guy, I find out, holy shit, he goes on to Shark Tank South Africa, and they approve his idea. I had no clue when I looked at the original contract what the fuck he was talking about. All I knew was my role. I don't know what he was making, but my role was to make art for this. And one of the words that popped up that I didn't know at the time was blockchain. Because at that time, nobody knew what blockchain was. It was just a word thrown around for intellectuals at that point. And what he was striving to do is create a augmented reality game where you collect creatures that are linked to blockchain, which now means that they exist and only one person can have that particular asset. Doesn't mean that there's not multiples of that creature. It just means that that asset is yours. Nobody else has that one. So yours is completely unique to you. And then once you trade it, it still stays unique, and it also has a history of where it's been so that you can prove that it's unique. Okay? Fantastic. So he wanted to create a augmented reality thing where you pop on your phone and you can play. Before Pokemon Go was a thing, you could do that with your phone using blockchain. And the reason why I mention this is because when the company I stuck with moved, now our office was based inside a small suburb. Then we moved to the big leagues. We moved to Cape Town, the city business district, the central business district, and we got an office in a very nice building, and we moved in. And later on, I'm walking out of the building, and there's the same guy that wanted to hire me. And I spoke to him a bit, and we spoke a bit, and then I leave. I told him, no, I work for a company in this building. Doesn't his whole company walk into my company? Now, first of all, the boss was an asshole. So he saw this as a Trojan invasion when this company walked in into our office. And all they wanted to do was, they were a game studio. They just found out that there's a game studio, and they wanted to come and say hi, to announce their presence. Say, look, we're here to try and open up relations, trying to network. Because who knows, maybe there's a chance that they might work together, right? Obviously, our boss wanted none of it because he believed that everybody's competition. Everybody is competition. I swear the people who design the pictures for McDonald's burgers were competition to this man. And he didn't like it. He threw after they left, he threw a fit with the manager saying, how could you let them in? Motherfucker, he's sitting right next to the entrance, but we let him in. Anyway. But the thing is, this guy moved into the same building, and I went to go visit him. He offered, I was a manager at that time, so he offered to show me around, because they walked in and they only thought it was, common courtesy to also show us around. And he explained the game to me, and I said, oh yeah, I remember him, I remember the pitch, I remember all of the stuff. I saw the progress. I can't say much of it, obviously it's not my work to talk about, but I saw the progress. I was like, hey, you guys are doing great. And he's backed by Shark Tank investor, and he's doing well. I don't know what happened to his project. I know the name. I don't want to say the name out loud because I don't know what legal action will be taken. But I don't know it. But it's supposed to be a game where you collect monsters to fight each other, and the twist was it's in AR. Right? So AR Pokemon before Pokemon Go. Right? Let's talk about Illuvium. Now, Illuvium is exactly the same concept, but without AR. It's blockchain Pokemon. That's it. It's I looked at the website, I looked at a lot of things, and the more I looked into it, the more I just thought, like, I have to say stuff about it, right? The first thing I'm going to say is, this is, to me, Illuvium is a pure corporate play. And I'm pretty sure EA is killing themselves for not coming up with this idea themselves. Like, this is textbook corporate. I mean, looking at the game, I mean, I showed you the trailer just before we went into this podcast. But you look at the game, and you look at it like, maybe there are people out there, the people that are tired of Pokemon that want something else. I mean, the game could be fun. The art style looks very... I'll speak about that later. But it looks okay. Hell, this could even be a great game. But you never know with this kind of thing. Whether it's fun at all is all debatable. But there's one thing you can be sure of. This game is designed to take your money. There's no way around it. And let me tell you why it's designed to take your money. Because it's basically gambling disguised as a game. But I'm not talking about loot boxes. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about just straight up gambling disguised as a game. Now, I don't know if you've ever been addicted to collectibles or collecting anything, but here's how it works. the things that you gamble on is the things that you're going to collect. There's a chance that you can or cannot get this thing because there's only a certain amount that exists in the world because of blockchain. Blockchain ensures that each asset is unique, each creature is unique, and if you own it, it is yours. Like, it's yours legally. That thing is. It's not like a game like Pokemon where you play the game, you start a new game, and you collect more Pokemon. You start a new game, you collect more Pokemon. No. That creature is yours, legally bound to you through blockchain. You own it, it is yours, nobody else has it, and that now makes the item a little bit more rarer because there's only a certain amount of this. There's never going to be any more unless they authorize it and they work around it, but this is the full amount, and if you have one of these, you're lucky because not everybody will get the option to have that particular one. And it might be completely useless or it might be completely overpowered. But the fact is, blockchain ensures that what you're getting is completely unique. That's very similar to these gacha style games where you pay for loot boxes in the hope of getting that one item that you want. What I'm trying to say here is that there might not be loot boxes here, but you are going to buy and pay for things that you want. Now, obviously, in Pokemon, I'm going to reference Pokemon a lot. In Pokemon, what's the currency in Pokemon? It's all digital and it stays contained within the game. There's no way you can go with a big case of money to Nintendo and say, hey, I want to get the best Pokemon. I want to buy this game, but on purchasing it, I want to have the best Pokemon immediately and all the money I can, right? There's no way you'll be able to do that. So, what makes this more gambling is that this game, in order to purchase a creature, you have to use real world money. There's no, they say it's an in-game currency, but the in-game currency is literally Ethereum, the cryptocurrency, and you can make money in this game, real world money. So it's no longer like you can't call it a game if there's nothing fantasy about it or made up about it or imaginary. Because to me, it's just straight up gambling, but the sort of gambling where collectors will get addicted to it. Because there's a game aspect where you can battle your creatures, you can fight them, and you can prove that you've got the bigger package, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, even the in-game currency is real money. It's not like Roblox or Fortnite where you pay money, convert that real world money to digital. This is straight up real world money. There's no thing about it, and it's cryptocurrency. And through what's incredibly nice about cryptocurrency, it's very difficult to give people refunds. It's very difficult for people to complain and ask for their money back. It's not like I just spent my actual hard worked cash on that. It's I buy cryptocurrency and I spend the cryptocurrency in this product. Right? And it's really like, I feel like this product is the guy said, look, there's a lot of money to, like, whoever the guy that came up with this said, whoever made blockchain was a great idea because now we can create unique assets. And then whoever made cryptocurrency was a great person because now we have a way of creating real world money digitally, or getting real world money digitally, and that is more accessible internationally. All right, so it's really great. So the guy comes and he goes, okay, I've got an idea. I want people to buy blockchain assets with cryptocurrency, right? And I need a way of encouraging people to do it. I need a way to encourage people to play, to engage in this game so they can give us money. So they disguise it as the one game that is stood the test of time other than Mario, and that's Pokemon. What how simple. You have creatures, they fight each other, yay, but that's it. It's really it. There's no the thing that makes Pokemon a game is that you escape to a fantasy world, right? You play this thing to enjoy yourself, right? This game, in reality, you're spending real world money for real assets. Yeah, they are digital assets, but they are real assets. And it's crazy to think that they're trying to show it off as the next level of gaming. But it's really not. It's just a way to steal your money disguised as a game. A way to get people hooked on, people who get hooked onto collectibles, to spend money that can actually be very difficult to recover, be very difficult to ask for it back. And because a cryptocurrency is international, it's very hard to govern. It's very hard to say, hey, you owe this person money, give it back or we're going to sue you. You can, but you would have to go through wherever the company's based, through their court, through their government system. And that can be a hassle. I mean, especially for somebody who's got an addiction, paying all this money, realizing that they can't afford it, and then they fall flat on their arse because of it. And it's like, it's the most addictive mechanics as well. Like I said, Pokemon is tried and tested through years of play. The game works. But this thing is, I can only call it a game if there was substance to it. But there's no substance. There's no, why am I fighting these creatures? Because they're cool creatures and you can fight against players. There's no story, there's no lore, there's no motivation, there's no anything to kind of justify it's in its own world, other than the creatures looking like they're aliens from outer space. It's basically if we took the cards of blackjack and swapped them out with magic cards, but still played the game of blackjack and just altered the rules to work with Magic the Gathering cards. It's still blackjack. It just looks nicer. It's actually a really, really it's on the level of Roblox, where I just want to call it disgusting and be done with it. I mean, people put a lot of effort into this. I took a look at it. It's made in Unreal Engine. How I figured that one out without getting it is I looked at the careers, and there's a job posting for software engineers and game developers working with C++ and Unreal, which tells me this game's made with Unreal. And it's basically stock Unreal. Like, the game's lighting looks great because that's Unreal's lighting. It's their beautiful rendered lighting. The assets look store-bought, except for the plants look stylized. But it's a little bit weird when you have stylized plants and then real stone and rock and stuff, and then you've got these Pokemon 3D characters that some look cool, some look stupid, but in the end you got this beautiful realistic lighting and rocks, but you got stylized plants and cartoony creatures. It's kind of like all the assets were bought on, all the assets they bought on the store, and then for the creatures they got some people in to make it. And it just feels half-assed. Like, let's just put it together so we can make money. What else can I say about it? It's simple, it's flashy, but it doesn't really look that great. Like, it doesn't look like everything's meant to be together. But one thing is, like, I've been critiquing the game industry. I've been in the game industry not as long as most veterans, I know, but I started in the shitty end of game industry, and I've wallowed in it for a very long time. So I've been exposed to a lot of the nastiness of it, and it's games like these that I can tell is purely profit based. They're literally slapping on a coat of paint to make it look nice to appeal to gamers, but it's straight up a game where they want to get you hooked so they can make money off of you. And it's like, I mean, how do I tell this? One of their main selling points about this game is that they have the best people from all over the world working on it. People, minds, smart minds, international collaboration. And that just means that a corporate suit sat down and said, I want the best of the best. I want them here. I want them working on this game to prove that this game's the best, because a game that's the best is made by the best people. You know, there was no thought into style, direction. It was just, I want the best people to work on this, and they're the best, so they must work on this, and because they're the best, this makes the game the best, right? And then they try to show off their the game's look, their style. I mean, you saw the trailer. It's like cartoony but realistic. It's like they don't know which way they want to go. And it also feels like the entire product isn't done yet. There's a lot of stuff missing, but I think it is done because they don't really want to add anything to it, because they don't need to. Because if they get someone hooked, they've got a fish. This is simply a cash cow disguised as a game, but not even like making a game into a cash cow. This is specifically engineered to be a cash cow disguised as a game, and it's unfortunate. I mean, you look at this and you see, like, this is the kind of shit where the people spearheading this was like, how do we make money and get into the game industry at the same time? And you look at it and they brag about they've got a blockchain engineer, someone from blockchain working with them, someone from one of the various Ethereum cryptocurrency companies. Like, I won't say companies, but it's working on a system where it converts Ethereum to in-game currency, and then you can convert it back out to Ethereum. And you got blockchain and crypto actively investing in this money-making scheme to try and get people addicted to collecting these things. And with the sole catch of, because it's blockchain, it's unique. And that's it. There's if you want a game that's better but the same without having to pay actual money, play Pokemon. You know? There's lots of games where you just there's that one with the dragons where you raise your dragon. I know it's a mobile game where you raise your dragon and you fight your dragon with other people. There's that. Yeah, they have paywalls, but you can still gain in-game currency. This is literally using crypto, and then they use the same crypto bait as ever. Make real world money in this game because it's crypto, and it's bad. Like it's the kind of trash where no thought is given into it. It's just, I want a product that makes money. Go make me money.
You know, when you first showed this to me, and I looked at the trailer, I was like, because I thought it was something like you were interested in, and I was like,
oh no!
And I looked at the trailer, and I was just like, this seems very meh to me.
It is. Everything is like, it looks nice, but it looks nice because I'm so used to seeing Unreal stock engine quality. I'm so used to playing games where they've slapped on Unreal stock engine and justified it being a beautiful game. I mean, undoubtedly it has a beautiful lighting system, but there's nothing much to it. You look on their website, and it's all about how much money or how much crypto. It's almost like a crypto evaluator rather than a game website. I mean, it looks. You open up to that. Let me just send you the link to this. You're on your. There we go. Let me just send that there. You open it up, and it's a very nice looking website. But then you look at the first image you get, and it looks beautiful. But it looks beautiful because it's Unreal Engine. But then you watch the trailer. I don't know if you remember, but they like spawn like a dog and like a plant thing, and the plant thing looked disgusting. And I get it, you can fight and you can do all of this, and they're trying to make it look so cool. There we go. Immutable is the Ethereum people. And then it's just it really just looks like they're trying to get. Oh my god, like I'm looking at their partners, and none of these partners are actually game design studios by nature. They're all just corporate around blockchain and around cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And
no.
it's crap. I mean, look at this: stacking exchange, buy their cryptocurrencies, buy. Contributors. I mean, they got a lot of community going on. But like, here's my thing: if you go onto their website, you go to more, and you go to which one is it? It's not careers. There was something else, or some thing like meet the team or something. Like I looked at contributors. You go there, right? I mean, it's actually quite funny because the one guy literally has like the annoying orange face, but like an annoying orange face as his picture to the wall of who he is. But like, I mean, look at these guys. The one art director looks like he's not actually an art director, but he's from like Hollywood, but back in the old days of Hollywood, you know? Like, you look at these guys, and each one of them is like, these motherfuckers know what they're doing. They know full well that they're making a money-making machine. I mean, only douchebags have, grayscale pictures of everybody.
Oh, yes. Yes.
No, and the thing is, there's no company photos. There's just everybody in their own picture. And they know exactly, and there's a lot of people that have worked on this. A lot of people. This is a proper studio that's gone in and said, hey, we like your idea. It's going to make us money. And they're pitching this to the world. And honestly, the actual game itself looks like one of those asset store games where they've just bought everything. They've put it into one game. They call it asset flips.
Yes, asset flips.
Exactly. It looks like that, but you've got so many people working on it. And it's supposed to have it gives us presentation of advanced lore and a world worth exploring, but we all know that the world is going to be broken up and sold to you. You know, it's not actually going to be a world worth exploring. And maybe if people are interested in this, if there is a hype to this, I hope you know what you're getting into. I cannot recommend this. I will never recommend this to anybody. It's flashy. It's overdone. It just feels like, you know, they just got everything, added top quality stuff. You know, I mean, it's the same equivalent of making a dish with top quality ingredients, top quality chefs cooking it, but no recipe. Just do what you do best. And all the chefs whip up their best meal with no theme to it, with no consistency. And that's what they've dished out here. But the difference is, each grain of rice you're going to have to pay for if you want to partake in it. Each little piece, each ingredient you have to pay for within that whole dish that they're offering to you.
Yeah,
I
think
yeah.
after everything you've said is, this sounds like shit.
It is. And like I said, I didn't know what this was. I was just told, you should look at it.
You failed to sell this game to me. I don't think I'm going to get into it. You're not very good at marketing.
Honestly, when I was told about it, I was like, yeah, sure, you made a suggestion. I'll go take a look. It seems interesting. And my first impression was, wow. Their catchphrase is Illuvium, fight for Ethereum. Like,
well,
it's I could not sell this. I refuse. I could not ever sell this product to anybody.
Well,
I'm sorry for anybody who's invested in it. Shame.
Yeah, no, I don't think it sounds much like me either. I'm like, nah.
Just don't buy it, people.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do with your money that are quite like cool.
Heroin is a better addiction. Please.
You can buy sex toys.
Fuck no, those things are expensive. Just stick to heroin, guys.
Yeah, that's true. Sex toys are fucking expensive. My God, fucking ridiculous.
Get fucked. I'm trying to.
I just wanted the vibrate, not a fucking car.
I have to mention this. I have to mention this. We both watched Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and there was a particular segment in it that I have to mention remote-controlled anal plugs.
Oh God,
where
yes.
somebody can lock the anal plug in your anus.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. That's even more acceptable than fucking Illuvium. Please. The only reason why I'm asking you to stay away from it is not I'm sour. It's not I want to trash someone's idea. These kind of games are what's going to become of the game industry. Apple is already compartmentalizing their products to sell to you. Fucking EA is already doing that with all the DLCs. Now, can you imagine FIFA players? Can you imagine if each player is a blockchain? And if you want Ronaldo, if you want Ronaldo, but your friend's got Ronaldo, and he doesn't want to give him to your team, he gets to keep Ronaldo, and you never get Ronaldo. Imagine having to pay for customizable soccer balls that move so fast you can't even see the fucking thing. Think about this. These kind of games are not just, people for these things, they affect it. It affects everything. This is the same shit that we saw with microtransactions, where people thought, oh no, it's only for those type of games. And it went into everything.
Yep.
That's why I'm so against it. It's because it's the start of a new breed of cancer.
Well, the big companies I know were talking about NFTs, and you're like, oh,
yeah. That's what they're doing with this Ethereum now. It's the immutable X. Ethereum's first L2 for NFTs, and then NFTs are even dodgy. Like seriously, just fuck off, man. Stop trying to monetize everything you fucking can.
But yeah, I think you had a good rant there.
It was needed.
And
I
think also your rant was like 25 minutes long.
It's fine. People have probably left by now. Actually, they probably left in the beginning.
Very true. Very true. But no, I don't think I have anything else to add. I think that's just shit, so it shouldn't exist.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I think that's it for today. What do you think?
No, I'm done. I'm good.
Alright, cool. You've gotten your rant out. Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take something from my heartburn and then go aggressively smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, you've had your angry orgasm of anti-NFT game bullshit, and now you just want to fall asleep and have a post-coital cigarette.
I'm going to go. I'm gonna go move out of this angry space.
Masturbate
have
furiously.
a cigarette and go play. No. I got something better. I'll just play For Honor. Same outcome. It's the same outcome, just that you never reach post-night clarity. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun time. By the way, actually, we never actually introduced ourselves. I just kind of went into it. You're Tristan, I'm Justin, and this is the 2 Cent Report.
This has been 1 Cent Justin and 1 Cent Tristan signing off. Take care now. Bye then.
And we love you so much. Blah, blah, blah.